going to preview the Baylor versus Texas women's soccer game, and that is on September 14th at 7 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus, or there's live stats as well. And I know one thing about Texas: they only lost one time this year, and it was to LSU at home, 3-1. And they did have a tight last game with a ranked team in Gonzaga. So we'll see if they're ranked or not. And I would assume they're ranked like inside the top 20 or for sure in the top 25. I would think so. But first, I want to go over the results in the regular season. Like Texas beat Long Beach State, that's favored to win their conference 4-3. Yeah, it was pretty tight. Rice State beat 6-0. They lost to LSU, like I said, 3-1. They're even down 3-0 at halftime. Iona 6-0. They won UTGRV. They won 5-0. They beat SMU 6-0. But here's the catch about that game. SMU was down a player because of a red card during the game within the first 2 minutes. And of course, that's the following game we played SMU and we lost 2-1. But they had 11 players then. They would not have allowed 6 goals to Texas, let's be clear, if they didn't have that red card. They beat Stephen F. Austin 7-0. And like I said, they tied with Gonzaga. So they're 6-1 on the year. And this is their first road game all season long. So they're going to have to get used to it, to being on the road now. Because up to this point, no road matches for them. And they did use like 4 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 1 forward last game. In fact, they used that 5 times all year long. They also used like 4 defenders, 2 or 3 midfielders, and then 3 or 4 forwards 3 times all year long. And I will put the stats in the description below so y'all can see it. So what are some players to keep an eye on? Of course, their goalie, Mia Justice, number 1, 5'9" goalie. That's a junior. 6 goals allowed and 27 saves, as well as 1 assist on the year. Carly Allen, number 5, 5'9" midfielder. That's a senior. 2 goals and 6 shots attempted. Obviously, Lexi Missimo, number 10, 5'8" midfielder. That's a junior. 6 goals on 43 shots attempted and 8 assists. Jilly Shimkin, number 11, 5'3" midfielder / forward. That's a junior. 6 goals on 34 shots attempted and 10 assists. Lizzie Warden, number 12, 5'9" forward. That's a sophomore. 2 goals on 19 shots attempted and 1 assist. I want to go ahead and mention Trinity Byers, number 15, 5'5" forward. That's a junior. 10 goals on 26 shots attempted and 7 assists. And yeah, we played actually against her sisters when they played we played SMU. Of course, SMU played Texas too. So, I'm just making that note. Lauren Lapomarda, number 25, 5'2" defender. That's a senior. 1 goal on 6 shots attempted and 2 assists. Ashley Miller, number 27, 5'3" midfielder. That's a junior. 1 goal on 14 shots attempted and 2 assists. And I know they have other players that scored like 1 goal this year, but I'm not mentioning them. And Avery Clark, number 16, 5'11" forward. That's a freshman. 3 goals on 18 shots attempted and 2 assists. So, first of all, the pressure's on Texas and not on you, because they're ranked. We're not. Even though we are 4-2-1 on the season. And I do think we do have a shot in this game. First of all, it's at home. And we should play our hair on fire and nothing to lose. And this is the first conference game. And this is the last time we're going to play Texas as a conference member. Unless we play them in the Big 12 tournament, if we could get there. But that's besides the point. I mean, obviously you got to take away their best players as much as possible, and you don't give up any clear shots. Of course, you kind of have to improve a little bit from last game, some, because you don't want to turn the ball over on your own side of the field or let them dictate on your side of the field, obviously. And yes, you want 7-0, but of course you could still correct yourself. I mean, try to improve. It's important to improve and not be complacent. Obviously, you don't want to be indecisive when you're at the box. And you had a lot of goals last game, so hopefully you could score some goals into this game just to get to put the pressure on Texas and not if you're up. I mean that it puts a little more pressure on them. Of course, you gotta execute your like a free kick and corner kick. I mean, just to have good passes, especially on the corner kick. You don't want to have like a cross come in and land it right over the goal, right over the net. I mean, like directly, it lands on the net. You know, unless it goes inside the net, but that's besides the point. But even then, I would rather try to give yourselves a shot to score on a header or get a volley, and of course, you gotta have crisp passing, and of course, put the pressure on. You gotta pressure them, trying to make them into mistakes. And this is the first road match, so let's try to rattle them up a bit. So that's the truth. Like I said, you gotta shut down their best players. Of course, you gotta win the first ball. Like if the ball's in the air, try to win the first, and then try to win the second too. Because winning the first does help, but you gotta win the second one as well, just to help yourself. And of course, I would also say you gotta take advantage of Texas' mistakes. Of course, you don't want to make as many mistakes on your end. And of course, try to intercept the passes and not allow them clearly. Of course, if you come to a situation where there is a corner kick, clear that ball out. I mean, for Texas, clear it out. And of course, you want to have more corner kicks than the opponent, but then you gotta execute. I mean, and it would also be helpful to have more shots in Texas, and dictate the possession of the ball. That way, you kind of take it away from Texas a little bit. But then you gotta score, obviously. And like I said, play with nothing to lose here. Because seriously, Texas is going to be ranked, and this is our first ranked opponent all year long, and we have improved some like from last year already. First of all, we got the same amount of wins as last year. Yeah, that's right. And that's without even conference play, and we scored more goals this year than all last year already. So that's definitely headed in the right direction. I think we have a chance to hang with Texas here. Maybe even outright beat them here. Because we have more options on offense to score this year than last year, and we don't have as many injury issues in the preseason. We just got to stay focused and make adjustments on the fly, because it's important to make adjustments during the game when you need to, and put the pressure on them and try to make them like kick the ball. I mean, make the defender like when we get the ball, try to make their defenders kick it out of bounds, and you get a throw in deep and all that. And potentially, if the ball hits the defender and it goes to the end line and it's off of Texas, you get a corner kick. Of course, you got to be sound defensively. It would really help. And you keep that clean sheet. I mean, it's important and all that. You just don't want to be timid in this game, and you can't let them dictate the pace of the game and be on the defensive, because it's better to be on the aggressive side than on the defensive side of things against this team. And yes, I know Texas is 6-1-1, but let's be clear, they don't have a lot of I mean, Long Beach State is a good team, but they lost to LSU at home. I mean, they played And SMU is supposed to be one of the better teams in the American on in their division. They were just down a player for the majority of the game. That's why they kind of whooped them up pretty handily. So it's not like a transitive property thing that Texas beat SMU, then Texas should beat us. No, it's a different story because it's all about matchups and stylistically as well. And SMU was down a player for the majority of that game, 88 minutes of that game. Stanford Austin, they shouldn't. That's not a great team. UGRV. I don't think they're a good team. Iona, no. Rice, I wouldn't think so. So the point is, they haven't played a lot of great teams out there, and the only real test they had, the best test they had all year, was Gonzaga. All year long, and the good news is they have never been in a road match before, so they might have some nerves going into this game, but still, I would rather put the pressure Texas as much as possible. That way they can mess up. Seriously. Because, if they make a mistake and they kind of give like a giveaway in their own side of the field, we need to take advantage. And of course, you don't want to do that on your own end. You don't want to give them any chances. Because as you can tell, they have some capable goal scorers on this team, on Texas here. And they have some players that could create, as you could tell by the numbers. And of course, you don't want to get like a red card, or of course, yellow cards especially for some of those players that already got 2 this year. Next one, they have to be suspended for the game. So you don't really want to do that. Of course, you don't want to foul in the box, or you get a handball in the box on defense. So I'm just saying that, and I don't know what the referee is going to call. So you can't let one call dictate the game, make the difference in the game here. You got to leave no doubt, because the last thing you want to do is put the game in the refs' hands. Try to outright win it without the refs, or outright tie even without. And this is the first conference game all year long. So let's try to get a good positive result out of this, whether it's a draw or a win. I would prefer a win. That way you can have a little more, because wins are like 3 points, ties are 1 point, and losses are 0 for 0 in that column, in the points column. So you're going to have to take their strength away and exploit the weaknesses. Of course, you don't want them to exploit your weaknesses and let them take away your strengths. Anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe. See you guys later. 5 subscribers. We're on the road to it. Let's go.